Hi, I'm Heidi, the Verification Director of the ethical online shop platform, the Etho. Today I'm going to chat a little about wages. We all know that there is a huge income gap among the working people in developing countries that leads to many social problems in families, and that there is a huge number of people that, despite of working 16 hours a day, are not able to feed their families and are stuck in in-work poverty. For smaller artisan groups, the challenges in securing a stable income might be their remote location, lack of marketing and product development skills, or infrequent orders from buyers. And these are actually some of the reasons why the Etho was founded: to help the artisans that work ethically or with a social cause but are without an access to wider markets. Obviously, currently it is not mandatory or legally binding to pay living wages to workers, although living wage is actually a human right. In any case, in ethical trade we should be able to do better than just to pay the minimum legal requirement to our producers. We know that in many countries, especially developing ones, the legal minimum wages can be only less than half of the sum needed for a decent minimum standard of living for a family. And of course, for example, the high inflation on food prices only widens this gap. Even in ethical trade, we use terms like fair wages or living wages, sometimes without actually knowing what the people in our supply chains earn in reality, or some ethical actors, buyers, still have to get used to the idea that it's also their responsibility and interest to know all these details. Inquiring the wages or making the income calculations might seem complex, especially if you buy from several countries or from many artisan groups, but a good starting point is to at least ask about the earning levels and if it's enough to secure a decent living when you visit your suppliers or email them or their management. Initiating the discussion and showing that this is an important topic also for the buyers can have an impact in itself. We at the Etho give feedback to our brands on the wage levels or payment procedures they report to us when they join our platform. We also maintain and update the information on minimum and living wages on all the countries where our brands produce items in, so we can always support you if you need information on your respective countries. Other source of information and leading organizations working on living wages are the Global Living Wage Coalition, who has made living wage calculations or benchmarks for rural and urban areas of more than 20 countries in the world, from carpet weaving industry in rural India to factory and farm workers in Latin America and Africa. ISIL Alliance is also working with several partners and buyers on living income, developing tools to calculate the total income for a family having both farming and non-farming income, and if it's sufficient or not. World Fair Trade Organization has also a requirement for its members on fair payment and has developed tools to do the calculation on local living wage. I have also written a blog post series of the income gap problem and the process of developing yourself a roadmap towards living wages and the different steps in it. If you have any questions, do stay in touch. And you can see all the links to the organizations in the following slide. Thanks and bye.